Delts and triceps today. First exercise is the cable single arm lateral raises. A couple of things about this exercise. First one, you can pretty much set up the cable wherever suits you based on the purpose of the exercise. So at the moment, I'm placing it about knee height, just slightly above my knee. This means that the sticking point will be right here where the side delt is being lengthened, in a lengthened position. It's not stretched necessarily, but it's basically at the bottom of the range of motion. And this makes sense with the other exercises I'm going to do during this session. But obviously, the lower the cable is, the closer it is to the ground, and the higher the sticking point is going to be, because obviously the line of the resistance becomes a bit more vertical. Second thing, you could be using cuffs, and that's what I would normally do if I hadn't lost mine. But you can also use one of those soft handles and just wrap it around the outside of your hand this way. Don't know if you can see it or not. And actually feels really nice. Potentially feels slightly better than a cuff. I wouldn't mind doing it with the handle either. It just means that you're working on the extensor of the forearms a little bit more. But currently, it just really messes up my shoulder. When it comes to like training delts, I have to be quite picky with the different positions, the different exercises. Not everything works the same as it used to, at least for now anyway. But I'm on a mend with that. I should probably stop fucking moaning about it. Okay, so first working set. We're doing 4 sets between 8 to 12 reps. And yeah, we're already warmed up, so we're ready to go. I'm letting the cable come in front of me. And I don't need to lean on the side for this one in particular. Because again, I'm trying to challenge delt in a longer position. So if I was to lean onto the side, then the sticking point will become higher in the range of motion. I'm also letting my arm come in front of me and just ever so slightly stretch the shoulder until the weight touches the stack. Obviously without bouncing, just get just like a millimeter off the stack. One more. Probably go slightly heavier next week. Okay. Whenever you're doing any lateral raises movement, you want to make sure that you're leading the movement with the elbow so that it doesn't drop. And overall, the shoulder doesn't change position. So you don't end up externally rotate too much or internally rotate too much. You can actually hook that side delt and keep it hooked throughout the whole lift. Okay. Front raises planated. I'm supposed to do this on an incline bench, but they're all occupied and awkward spots to film. So I'm just going to do it at the rear delt machine, just since it's free. Why not? And I'm going to be sitting forward and leaning back into it. Sometimes just, it feels better than an incline bench. Just put the bench upright, 90 degrees, and just sit forward with your hips and lean back into it. Sometimes that feels better because it allows a little bit more thoracic extension at times. And also you can measure how inclined you want it based on how far you go with your hips. You can actually position yourself slightly better, if that makes sense. Anyway, 10 to 15 reps here. I have no idea how much I can do. It's not an exercise I normally do by itself as a single. It's normally like a superset or like a mechanical drop set or something. So. Fucking hell. Whew. Just realized it actually feels better if I don't twist. So I just keep the pronated all the way through, even at the very bottom. Just means that I need to lean back a little bit more. Also, what's awkward about these dumbbells is that they're quite wide, quite big, excessively big for 10 kilos. So you have to create room for that as well. So at least at the bottom, you can't really go directly to the front. You have to go slightly to the side, which is not bad. I mean, still makes sense with what we're doing. So 2 more sets of this and moving on to the next exercise. A lot of side delts today. Haven't filmed this yet. This is an exercise. This used to be one of my staple side delt exercises. It has been for the last couple of years. I absolutely love this exercise and actually think you can create a really nice setup here specifically on this cable machine. Again, waiting for my cuffs to arrive. So for the moment, I'm using the soft handles, wrapping it around my hand. Feels similar to a cuff, to be fair. So what we're doing, 8 sets of 8 reps with my 15 rep max and about 30 seconds rest in between. So it's like a cluster set. We did this before in one of my arm sessions. I believe last week, actually. It felt pretty good. It's quite intense. I'm going to film my first set and my last set just to show you guys the difference in the intensity. If you've never done this exercise before, you're up for a treat. Highly recommend it. It's a bit of a bitch to set off, but it's 100% worth it. Might have gone a bit too heavy. Yep, definitely too heavy. Didn't count on the fact that this is my third exercise and I actually haven't done it in ages, so I'm going to reduce slightly and proceed with the rest of the 8 sets. Catch you guys at a sec. Just got 7 on the last 2, so definitely not going to close it. Well, most definitely not going to close it. See if I can get another 7. Hopefully. Nope. That was fun though. Good burn. We're back at the shoulder press machine. Neutral grip here. I tried a couple of warm-up sets and it actually feels good today. Fingers crossed. So 3 sets, 10 to 15. So we're not going heavy here. It's more metabolic. So let's see how this feels. Okay. Okay. Feels alright. Starting to feel my left a little bit towards the end. I noticed that how I position my palm makes quite a big difference. And it usually does for most people when it comes to getting better proprioception with the muscles that you're trying to target. I think for some exercises, there is an actual difference on a mechanical level. For some of them, it's mostly literally just proprioception. So how the exercise feels. It's like doing a suicide grip. I saw a couple of you guys mentioned the suicide grip on my incline bench. I've always been doing suicide grip. I know it's not the safest thing, but it feels 100 times better. Not on every press, but the majority of them actually allows me to have more of the palm and to actually not have any forced pronation, because gripping it fully does force a little bit of extra pronation. Close grip bench press. I'm actually doing it slightly different today. Doing it more like a JM press. So I'm actually letting it fall a little bit higher on my chest and bending the elbows a little bit more. So there's a bit less pecs involved, a bit more triceps, a bit more front delts, and feels pretty good. 4 sets here, 2 heavy, between 6 to 10, and then 2 in a higher rep range. A lot of volume. Okay, second tricep exercise is going to be an overhead press with a rope. This is actually an exercise that a lot of people get the setup wrong. It's not necessarily wrong, but like, you're not doing yourself any favor. If you put the cable right at the bottom, it's going to be very difficult to just get in position, right? So you get exactly the same effect if you just position the cable a bit higher, and then it's just a lot easier to get in position. You could potentially put it even slightly higher than it is now and get exactly the same effect. Anyway, overhead tricep extension, 4 sets between 10 to 15, so higher reps. I think I might have gone a bit too happy with the weight, but there you go. Go for full elbow flexion. Oh, one more. Definitely too heavy. Can't do 4 sets like that. Let's go slightly lighter for the next 3. I hope you guys can see fine. This is what the physique is looking like at the moment. Definitely starting to get fuller. Also, definitely less lean than before. I also trained my abs yesterday, so they might be a little bit more inflamed than usual, to be fair. I think sometimes we get caught up into looking for recognition, and we might mask it behind a goal. We think that that goal is what's going to give us the attributes, the value that we're looking to have within ourselves, when in reality, it's just an external validation, as shallow as it sounds. And it's hard to recognize sometimes, but even when you're very conscious of things, have a lot of self-awareness, but still get caught up in dynamics and projections. And I think on one end is inevitable, and we also kind of need to go through them in order to elaborate them and actually go past them. But at the same time, I think the true strength of character is shown when, even if the world around you is shaking and you're perhaps getting a lot of hate, or you're quite simply not getting the recognition that you're looking for, you still hold your values. You still know who you are. You still know what makes you you, what makes you unique. And that's how you regain a little bit of self-respect and self-love. And then it's easier to see things clearly. Obviously, all of this is easier said than done. But whenever you feel emotionally attached to an outcome or to someone's opinion, it's always best to investigate where that is really coming from. It's always best to find out what really drives you and why certain things are important to you more than others. And as we said yesterday, you might not have all the answers straight away. In fact, you might not have any answers at all. But just the fact that you're questioning yourself, it opens you up to self-discovery. But let me know what you think in a comment, and thank you so much for being here. If it's your first time watching one of my videos, I'm posting one vlog a day for a year straight. So if you enjoyed this, if you found it valuable, feel free to like, leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.